Hey, Wrestle fans. You're listening to the Wednesday Night War Podcast, Episode 60, Winter Came. What's up, Warheads? Wednesday Night War, Episode 60. I'm DJ. I'm here with Brett. Brett? How are you?
DJ?
How are you, pal?
I was like, what are you doing?
I was expecting you to jump in, and you didn't.
Oh, I'm sorry.
You just left an awkward pause there.
I got distracted by my
Yeah,
phone.
you did. It's true.
Like the millennial bitch that I am.
That is exactly what you are.
What's up, man?
Not much.
How we doing?
Good.
How's life?
It's life.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's life. Isn't that a song?
It's my life. It's now or never.
Is that Bon Jovi?
It is John Bovi, yes.
Fuck you. That threw me off. What's up, dude?
Nothing. We watched some wrestling this week.
I would say not tonight we didn't.
No, not tonight.
No.
Not tonight. No wrestling.
Yeah, because I feel like we're going to be watching a lot more wrestling.
Maybe we are.
Coming up here.
Well, we're going to do some addition by subtraction.
I like that.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. I think
there he is.
I think our time can be better spent
On a Tuesday night?
Yeah. Especially for we'll talk about it, but especially for the length of time that this particular thing is going to be taking place, hot and heavy, I think our time can be better spent.
Especially since the other show that we look at on Tuesdays is longer than the new show that we might be watching on Tuesdays.
I'll be interested to see if they still run.
They will.
Yeah, you think they're going to run both?
YouTube.
Because you can just watch it after.
Yeah, they don't care.
Do you know? Well, we'll talk about it later.
Yeah.
I got tons of questions when we talk later because,
okay.
Spoiler, I don't have Access TV. So.
Well, I have your answers then.
Yeah.
Because I do have Access TV.
Okay. Tuesday nights at Brett's house.
You can come down. You can come hang. We'll chill.
Well, you still got to put that detolf together.
See? Look at that. It all... Finally, it comes full circle.
Right.
I mean, you'll never find yourself down that way. So,
no,
dude, look at this. We can get Arby's.
Sold. Is it on tomorrow? Let's just do it tomorrow.
I wish it was.
All right. Well, thanks for listening. Wednesday Night War Podcast.
Is that it?
That's it.
Show?
Good night, everybody. We're going to get Arby's.
Yeah.
Enjoy the show. I'm going to go enjoy some gray beef.
Ew.
It's delicious.
Some pink matter.
It's absolutely delicious. So we got lots of wrestling to talk about. It's probably gonna be a long show, so let's get into it.
Yeah,
because there's lots to talk about. I might have a hot take or two.
I mean, it wouldn't be the show without it. So
they're not gonna. It's not gonna cause an argument, and it's not even. It's more of me just. I'm gonna throw some things out there, and I'm gonna lay out a question.
Are you gonna workshop some stuff?
I'm gonna lay out a question later.
Gonna work some shtick?
Maybe a few. No shtick.
Okay.
Just some maybes.
All right, I'm cool. I like that.
Is this as good as people think it is?
Okay.
Kind of thing.
Cool.
But before all that,
yeah.
Let's start with the thing that people really want to. Oh, we got news.
Yeah.
We can't start with the thing people really want to hear, which is us covering AEW Dark. Because we cover it, so you don't have to.
That should be like a slogan.
Right. I'll put that on a T-shirt on our TeePublic store.
Oh, look at that.
Check our social media. I put the post up there all the time.
Look at you.
There you go.
God
Thanks
damn.
to everyone who bought T-shirts, too. I was going to save this for the end, but that was kind of natural, so we'll talk about it now.
Yeah.
People bought T-shirts the first week it was up, so thank you very much. I really appreciate it.
Thank you, everyone, Joe Sposto.
It was people other than Joe Sposto.
Did you find out who?
No, it doesn't tell you who.
Oh, okay.
Privacy.
Oh, yeah, because they don't send you like the shipping or
right.
anything,
They're not going
right?
to tell me any of that shit. I don't do anything.
Thank you, everyone.
Yeah, so I bullied Joe into buying one because I assumed it was him, and then when he said it wasn't him, he was then felt guilty. He was like, "I'm going to buy one," because he's just that good kind of guy. I've never returned that favor and have not bought a single other T-shirt from the Soon to Be Named Network.
You know what? I'm going to.
All right,
I'll do it.
Okay, we'll talk. But anyway, thank you for everyone who bought a T-shirt or a cell phone cover. Cell phone covers are on sale right now.
I was like, wait, did somebody buy a cell phone cover? I was going to say, what the hell?
You can get our logo on masks. You can get our logo on T-shirts, on coffee mugs, on cell phone covers, on pillows.
Socks?
I don't think they do socks.
Okay.
But they do wall tapestries.
I do need new wall tapestry.
Well, there you go. So
let's do it.
Right. And there are 3 t-shirts up for those of you who haven't seen. One with the logo that says podcast underneath, one that does not say podcast underneath because I don't know how much I like that one anymore, and one where the back of the t-shirt says just because you can doesn't mean you should, which is essentially the earliest slogan this show's ever had.
Yeah.
So
that or vest count.
That wasn't a slogan because I abandoned that thing very early on.
A week.
Yep. And it's just one.
Well, one that matters.
Yes. So, but anyway, we got some news.
We do.
So somber news to start.
Was it yesterday, I believe? Yeah, Wednesday.
Yes.
News came out. Pat Patterson passed away. That sucks. He had cancer, I believe.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah, I believe it was.
Was he laid off in the furloughing?
I know Briscoe was. I don't think Patterson was. That, for so many years, that was Vince's right-hand man.
Right.
I don't think Briscoe was. But Patterson, that was his guy. Huge blow for sure. You look at pretty much anything like WWF related during its peak.
Yeah,
he had a hand.
I mean, the man created the Royal Rumble. So end of list. No, it's not end of list, but like it's the greatest gimmick match.
He won
of
the
all time.
first Intercontinental Champion when he won that tournament in Rio. Because that happened.
Yep.
Yeah, that sucks. And you could tell he was loved by everybody.
Vince McMahon had to pretend to be human on social media.
Yeah, Vince doesn't handle that. There's no way.
Well,
I love every time
he had to let someone pretend that he's human to post on his social media.
I love every time there's like a long post or something.
Yeah.
Very like heartfelt. And then everybody goes back to the 1 year when he just put "Happy Birthday, Shane McMahon." Like, good for you, Vinnie Mac.
Yeah.
But yeah, literally everybody had
everybody's
nothing but great things to say about the guy. He was so influential. Rocky talked about him. Poor Bret Hart. We were talking before the show, and like 3 of his last 9 Instagram posts were about his friends that have died in wrestling, and
he had his hands in every single part of that company. And most of the time it was like involving the talent, watching them, helping them improve, helping them figure out matches and gimmicks and all that sort of stuff. Not since Dusty have we seen, I think, such a sort of a giant, a titan, if you will, of the wrestling industry fall. Because there's just so many people that have been affected.
Yeah, I mean, he worked on literally everything. It's crazy. I love the story that Sami Zayn put up, like when Zayn won the NXT title, and he said Pat Patterson was so excited, and he ran out to celebrate at the ring, and they told him at Gorilla, like, Pat, no, like, you don't go out there. He told them that everyone go fuck yourselves. I'm going to celebrate with Sammy.
There you go.
So, like, that's the kind of guy that he was to the people in the business.
Yeah.
So huge loss for sure.
Yeah.
I don't know how involved he's been lately.
Yeah.
But like I heard, like he still would always lay out the Rumble and always help with it, which that was his baby.
Created it.
You know,
greatest gimmick
best
match.
Gimmick match.
It's the best gimmick match of all time. It is still like the number one thing I'm excited for. I'm more excited to watch the Rumble match than I am WrestleMania every year.
All the time. Yeah. I mean, even like, his Stooges stuff during the Attitude Era was great.
Right.
But there's one match, and I posted on my Twitter yesterday, him versus Slaughter from like 80 or 81.
Yeah.
They just beat the shit out of each other in Madison Square Garden. It holds up. It's great. It's such a great match.
He's from, and like Slaughter falls into this too, because by the time people like Slaughter and Hogan and stuff, Slaughter was past.
He was done, yeah.
They're from this era of wrestling that it's hard to find good footage. It doesn't, not a lot of it exists. People aren't seeking it out, so it's like it's slipping away. It's just that late 70s. I mean, obviously before that too, but like that late 70s, real early 80s, pre-Hulkamania stuff is like so cool, and you don't really get to see a ton of it. It's across the board. I mean, you don't see, Terry Funk winning the NWA title doesn't really exist in good quality. Like a lot of these guys, their careers were so legendary and so great, but you don't really, it's not all out there. You can find stuff, but the lion's share of these guys' careers and the guys were basically innovating wrestling to what it became, moving it from sort of the all out catch as catch can kind of stuff into the bigger stuff. for you can find out there. You can find all Dusty stuff and Superstar stuff from the 70s and 80s, but it's not out there like the 80s and 90s stuff is. It's hard to find. And guys like Pat Patterson, I think, suffer because they are more remembered for the Stooges and all that sort of stuff.
And of course.
It was all great stuff. But,
absolutely.
Yeah. But then there's some people that don't watch any wrestling pre-1990.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
How dare you, Adam Van? How dare you?
I wasn't naming names.
So yeah, rest in peace to Pat Patterson. Yes. Big loss. Too many losses all around in life this year.
Yeah.
But that one, yeah. That's
big,
a heavy hit.
2020 Big L.
Yeah.
Taking the big L.
Some different news. They announced yesterday the newest recruiting class for the Performance Center. Some of the names featuring Desmond Xavier and Zachary Wentz, who were just part of the Rascals in Impact Wrestling like 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
The third member of the Rascals wasn't signed, Trey Miguel, so who knows? We'll see. Also, Alex Zane, he got signed, popular like GCW.
Yeah, I've seen the name.
Yeah. So Jiro Higuchi.
Okay.
He is signed, 26 years old, trained by Tajiri.
Well, that's...
And wrestled mostly like Wrestle One in Japan, so that's cool. I'm about that. Andriel Howard, she was a professional basketball player not long ago. That's wild.
Okay.
And then Russ Taylor, who's been with WXW over in Germany. And then whatever, we'll jump ahead.
Wasn't there a kid on Home Improvement named Russ?
Are you thinking of Jonathan Taylor Thomas?
No. Oh, because he was Tim Taylor, right? Tim the Toolman Taylor. There wasn't a Russ. One of his kids wasn't named Russ.
No. I don't remember his kid's name.
Brad
and Zach?
I don't think there was a Zach.
You don't think so? Maybe that was his real name in actual life.
Maybe.
I don't remember his kids' names.
Somebody, you shoot us an email or Twitter it up. Yeah. Remember Home Improvement, the show with the guy who ratted out all his drug smuggling buddies to not go to jail.
What was his
Wilson.
Yep, I'm so happy you already know. Yeah. And then, of course, the glue of the show, Al Borland.
Right.
Loved me some Al Borland.
Right, went on to host Family Feud.
How forgettable.
Yeah.
But yeah, new class is in, so I'm going to go out on a limb and say you haven't really seen anybody in this class. No. Okay.
I recognize Alex Zane's name. I might have seen him, but everybody else, no. I mean, I saw that the Rascals got signed, but I don't think I've watched Impact since Kevin Nash was a part of the roster.
So I do my fair share and try to keep up on Impact.
Okay, you're a better man than I.
I fast forward through a lot.
Yeah, the wrestling we watch.
A lot of it is just not. Yeah. There's good shit there, but some of it I can't do.
The wrestling we watch for this show is enough for me. And then I still have to fit in like my Stan Hansen matches and ECW pay-per-views and whatever else I happen to cruise through.
And now you're going to have to play ECW Hardcore Revolution for the PlayStation 1.
Great.
Because I'm a good friend.
Is that what that is?
That's exactly what that is.
Okay.
I was going to say happy birthday, but it's not your birthday.
Mm-mm.
Happy late birthday.
Thank you.
So yeah, that is...
okay.
That was the news for this week.
All right.
If you missed anything, oh well. You'll find out more shit that happened though.
Yeah, there's a lot of shit.
There's a lot to talk about. Yeah. So let's talk about Dark.
All right, I watched 4 matches.
I think that's more than I watched.
Okay.
First thing I watched was Ricky Starks versus Damian Fenrir.
Nope, skipped it.
It was like 4 minutes. It was fun.
Okay.
Ricky Starks is the man.
That's good.
And I love Taz on commentary, just building up his boy. So that was good. Next thing that I watched, let me scroll through the list here. Adam Priest and Sean Maluda against the Best Friends.
Skipped it.
Oh, man. You hate the Best Friends.
I love the Best Friends. I hate Dark.
It was 5 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Best Friends won, of course.
Okay.
It was okay. And then the last I watched Matt Sydal versus Aaron Solo.
Skipped it.
I'll tell you, it was actually pretty good.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
For like a 6-minute match, it was what I wanted to see in a 6-minute match. It was cool. Fun. I did also watch, because it just happened to like screen cap it, when the Gun Club came out. Did you see this?
Nope.
They came out wearing black towels over their heads and walking like Taz. Okay. And Ricky Starks lost his fucking mind on commentary. He's like, "You pieces of garbage. You can't get over." He's like, "Fuck you and your terry cloth towels." And Taz was real offended. He's like, I didn't have terry cloth. I had better material than that, bro. I'll tell you what. I'm like I'm almost tempted to like. I just want to get the audio of Taz during like Taz's commentary during the show.
Yeah,
because he doesn't give a fuck.
No,
and he's hilarious. He's Taz.
Okay,
he's the fucking man. He's
all
Taz.
Right.
And then did I watch anything else? Oh yes, I did watch another match. The Acclaimed versus George South Jr. and Bobby Wayward.
So I was gonna watch this one.
Okay.
Because of George South Jr. Because his daddy's claim to fame.
Yeah.
Is the first man to wrestle Muta in America.
Yeah.
But I did not watch.
Bobby Wayward had like MC Hammer pants.
Okay.
And George South Jr. was there.
Okay.
I don't know. I like the Acclaimed.
You do.
I'm an Acclaimed mark. I think they're good.
Okay.
And then that was all I watched.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
I only watched women's matches.
Okay. Pervert.
I knew you were going to say that. And no, because one, I was real mad at Dark being like 17 matches again.
Well, yeah. What the fuck?
So I was like, you know what? No, I'm punishing you, Dark, for this. I'm only going to watch the women's matches because I'm going to support this women's division. Not that anybody can tell what YouTube I'm watching.
So you were punishing Dark. You were getting back at Dark.
Yes.
How'd that go?
Not well. So I watched Tesha Price versus the returning Shanna. She's back from...
Yeah, Shanna's going to join the Redacted Club.
Ooh. Really?
Yeah.
What for?
Making some tweets this week that were not very friendly.
Really?
Yeah.
Ooh.
We'll talk about it.
Okay.
But she's going to join that club.
Well, Tesha Price was afraid of a top rope drop kick and sold it early and was in the ropes, and Shannon went to drop kick her and she sold out the ropes before the drop kick landed, so that was funny. Then I watched Kylan King versus Catalina Perez, which was just a squash for Kylan. Then I watched Lindsay Snow versus Ivelisse because Lindsay Snow looks awesome. She's the super tattooed up one. The absolute wrong opponent to make Ivelisse look tough. Like Ivelisse was trying to like walk up to her and intimidate her and like be all aloof in the match and like not bump. And I was like, this woman looks like a serial killer. I thought Lindsay Snow needs to like team up with Big Butch. Yes.
Just tattooed hoss motherfuckers.
Right. So Ivelisse's trash in and out of the ring was no good in this match whatsoever, but she did win. And then I watched what was advertised as their co-main event was Lady Frost versus Red Velvet.
Okay.
I like Lady Frost from her Masked Wrestler appearance and her last week on Dark. So I thought Red Velvet wins with a weird dropkick finish that wasn't very good. But the thing I like about Lady Frost is that she plays to the back row. Everything she does is big. Everything she does is flamboyant. Not like outrageously so, but like all of her moves. There's a big wind up and a big strike down, like all that sort of stuff that really matters. That's the good little stuff about wrestling. But I also learned something about Red Velvet this week. She's engaged and or married to Gerald Briscoe's son.
I thought you were just going to end at Gerald Briscoe.
No.
What's his son? Is
the wrestler's son?
Is his son Wes Briscoe?
I think so.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Another quality human being.
I don't know about his human being qualities. I just know his wrestling qualities.
Yeah, well, whatever.
And I know he used to run around in TNA with Garrett Bischoff.
Oh God. Okay, great. But that was all I watched on Dark. I'm very excited about this Shauna thing.
I mean, we could talk about it if you want.
No, we don't have to talk. We can. I don't care. I didn't see it. How bad is it? You're selling it here.
So bad that some bullshit website we're supporting her, and they basically got kicked off of Twitter, and
wow,
yeah, people that ran the website had to lock their accounts because they're fucking scumbags.
Holy shit! All right,
yeah,
this is interesting.
Yeah, so there's that. So we'll talk about it eventually.
All right, look it up. I guess Brett doesn't want to spill the beans.
No, because if
don't give it airtime.
Yeah, exactly. But
all right,
let's just say you're
a
scumbag.
All right. Wow, bummer.
Yeah.
Okay. Well,
it happens. Hey,
will it affect her AEW status? You think?
It should.
Okay.
I think it should.
But it's pro wrestling, so it might not.
Yeah, it's pro wrestling, and some of the people may agree with her.
Okay.
So. All right.
Yikes.
Enough of that.
Let's
go to AEW Dynamite.
Hey, do you hear that?
Winter is coming.
You hear that sound?
Is that the sound of winter?
That's winter.
Is that the sound of
it's coming
music?
What? The hills are alive with the sound of music?
Whatever, dude. I don't fucking know.
Okay. No, I'm proud of you.
Listen. All right. I understand it's winter is coming.
I've been completely triggered by this from the get-go.
Yeah, because like you went through it like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah.
And then this week I was having my moments about where this slogan came from.
Mm-hmm.
And I was so mad.
Yeah.
Fuck them.
Well, it was very cold in Florida.
Yeah,
like
apparently they said like with wind chill it was like in the 30s.
Yes.
So, ouch.
Yeah, great.
Well, we're kicking it off. The Dynamite Diamond Battle Royale.
Yes.
We'll talk about a couple things I guess that happened during it. Get Matt Hardy off my television.
I thought we were getting an Iron Sheik situation here.
What, WrestleMania X7?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
I thought like, all right, this is what's happening. This is Matt Hardy's your Iron Sheik, and he's winning this Battle Royal because he can't take that bump. Yeah, dude sucks.
Yeah.
Dude sucks, and I can only imagine they're in on him for a bunch of money.
Yeah, so. I'm sure they are because it's like the Bucks hooking up their friend with a job.
Yep.
And I'm over it.
Yep.
And like, listen, we say about Matt Hardy, like, thanks. But let's
see you later.
Let's get off TV now.
Adios.
Because now he's doing this weird gimmick and shit, and no thank you. I liked probably my favorite part of the match was Adam Page's interactions with Adam Silver and Adam Reynolds and John Silver when he eliminated somebody and John Silver jumped on his back and rode him like a fucking horse. Yeah. That made me real happy.
Yeah.
But at the end of the match, it came down to MJF, Wardlow, and Orange Cassidy.
Yes.
After MJF eliminated Jungle Boy and Sammy Guevara. Ooh, the seeds of tension are already there.
Yeah, so I had thought that, to me, the best storytelling here would be to have Sammy win this because the tension between him and MJF, they've been teasing that.
Diamond ring, yeah.
So, and MJF has to give it up, like he's going to, he's defending it. So I thought Sammy winning would then further that tension and like they could be like, oh, I can't believe you won. That's awesome. We're going to have this easy match because we're both friends, but then you can build, do little things and build the tension. And then so that Sammy's then coming for it. They didn't go in that direction. I think something they do later on is worse for that.
Agreed.
But if you're going to go a way that doesn't make the best sense, at least give it to a guy that I fucking love.
Yeah, because Orange fucking Cassidy eliminated Wardlow.
Yes.
So I believe it's next week it's going to be Orange Cassidy versus MJF for the battle or the Battle Bowl ring.
Yes, the Battle Bowl ring. Yes.
Yeah. They also, during the match, they tried to make Miro look like a powerhouse.
Yes. And the weirdest thing is after the match, OC wins and Miro gets mad at him for no reason. OC wasn't involved with Miro in this match at all. It's a carryover from their last gimmick, but like it took 3 members of the Inner Circle to take Miro out. But then after the match, he's mad that OC won it. And it just doesn't make any sense to me.
I agree, but happy that OC won it.
Yeah, it's absolutely.
I'll tell you what, those like orange punches that he threw looked fucking brutal.
Loved that they let him take out Wardlow.
Yeah, I agree.
It helps legitimize and helps sort of build him for this match where he's going to come in against MJF and not, be as goofy. When I love the goofiness, I love the comedy. But you got to make him look tough, and that was a good spot. Make him protect his finish, all that sort of stuff.
I'll tell you what, that like on the apron with Jungle Boy and Sammy too, that was pretty cool. Yeah. I was like, all right, I like this.
Yeah.
So next match we have is Chris Jericho on his I'm going to wrestle all the veterans I never wrestled before tour.
Great.
Going up against Frankie Kazarian.
Yeah.
It goes like 11 minutes.
I will be completely honest. I could not have been more tuned out for this match.
Yeah, I didn't really get into it either.
So they teased this show as being this big show, this pay-per-view on TV, and this whole show was super fast-paced. They didn't waste any time. Like, they were doing match after match, like one after another, and doing one entrance, then the commercial, so they weren't breaking up the matches as bad. But this match it's essentially a match for Dark. Like, it's just not, you're not going to put Jericho on Dark, obviously, but there's no storyline here. There's nothing. Like, this is a storyline heavy show and he's the biggest Dynamite ever. All these big surprises are going to happen. And this is the weird match. So I was just like, and I think Jericho looked like a bag of shit.
Yeah, I was going to bring that up. Like, he's
partying too hard again. He's slipping into that. Like, it's rough. And like, so I was completely tuned out. I wasn't interested. I ended up just looking at my phone the whole time. So them two, the combined age was like 93 years old. They don't deserve an 11 or 12 minute match on TV. It does nothing.
Yeah, I got real sketched out when Frankie hit him with the flux capacitor because I haven't seen him doing it in a while. And I'm like, when he was setting up for it, I'm like, is Jericho going to be able to do this?
Right.
And he did it, and I was like, oh, thank God.
But it's not. There's no feature here. There's just nothing. I don't know. Yeah.
Well, it was like tried to be set up last week after. Yeah, and listen, I agree with you. It's a throwaway.
I get
nothing.
Why they did it, but like for the show this big, you don't even like have Jericho come out and do something better. Like this doesn't.
Yeah.
This doesn't add to the show in any way.
Yeah. Well, during the match, like Frankie had Jericho on a Boston Crab.
Mm-hmm.
MJF ran out and he's thrown in the towel.
Yeah.
And Sammy ran out and ripped the towel off of him.
Right. So this was the real purpose for this
I thought
match.
something was going to happen where like Wardlow shoved Sammy, the towel was
right,
flying,
and that was in the ring. Right.
That's what I thought was going to happen, but it just didn't.
Which, and like there was like a hint that Jericho thought he caught Sammy, but they didn't play it out right.
Yeah.
Like trying to get Sammy blamed. But like if Sammy had won the Battle Royal and all this happened, and MJF frames Sammy for throwing in the towel, that makes a ton of sense and really kickstarts this feud. But instead, they're limping their way through it again.
Yeah, I don't know the age difference between Kazarian and Jericho.
They're about 13 years. Kazarian's like 40 something, and Jericho's 50.
Yeah,
it's like 7 years or something.
Okay, because
I think Kazarian's 43 and Jericho's 50.
Okay, so Kazarian hasn't hit that point yet. Because like when Jericho was 43, he could still. I mean, even like 2 years ago when he was in. Yeah, like New Japan, he could still like against Omega.
When Jericho was like, "All right, I'm going to try."
Yeah, like he still looked good. So Kazarian has. I mean, Kazarian like he looked a lot faster, a lot quicker. You know what I mean? But yeah, it was.
Kazarian isn't like a huge guy, but he's also built a little more naturally bigger.
Yeah.
Jericho to put on mass has just kind of broadened himself.
Went to his belly.
Yeah.
After the match, Sammy starts shoving MJF. Hager and Wardlow get into it. Jericho grabs the mic and says, "Stop this shit. Enough of this bullshit." Mm-hmm. Which I was like,
"What bullshit?"
I'm so happy you said it. All
what
right.
bullshit?
Yeah.
2 weeks ago or 3 weeks ago, they were in Vegas yucking it up.
Look at last week.
Right.
They were joining in on a beatdown on SCU.
Right. They think they're doing more with these angles than they are. It's the same thing with Kenny and Hangman. They think they're doing more, and whether it's their acting or the directions they're getting backstage or whatever it is, they're not hitting their marks with these things. And that's my problem with this. If Sammy wins that Battle Royal, this works all the way across the board. Because then you have MJF frame him by throwing in the towel. Jericho's actually mad for a reason. Yeah. Because Jericho still won the match, so he's no reason to be mad. Right? But if Sammy throws in the towel, even if he throws in the towel and Jericho catches it and throws it back at him, Jericho's mad at Sammy. MJF framed him because MJF doesn't want to have to wrestle him for that ring. Gets him out of the inner circle. Then it's not we're going to break up. It's next week we're going to decide if Sammy's still in the inner circle. All that works. And it's not that I'm mad that OC won the Battle Royal. I think him versus MJF is going to be really good, and it's a good showcase for OC, and it gets him in a better spot. But like, you could have made this whole angle work by making that one little change. And instead, like, you were all partying, and there was some side-eye at the beginning of that Vegas thing, but by the end, they were fine.
Oh, everybody was buddy, arm in arm.
Right. So this makes no sense. I'm sick of this bullshit. There was literally nothing. You won the match, nobody threw in the towel, and the tension was barely there. The only bullshit was 4 weeks ago when his jacket was too long.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it.
It is not hammering home the way they think it is, and they've done this a bunch. So, like, it's the seeds of it are there. The base of it, the form, the structure is there. They just have to do better, and for whatever reason, they're not.
Yeah, I didn't understand it. Like, my immediate thought was, what bullshit?
Right.
You know, because they cut a promo last week together. They jumped ECU together.
Right. It makes no sense.
Yeah, it's weird. It's swing and a miss for me, which sucks. But he says next week,
one simple change fixes all of it.
Next week there's going to be an ultimatum.
Right, an ultimatum.
Either we work together or we break up.
Yeah.
Which, why can't you just decide it right then and there?
It makes
Maybe because Santana wasn't there? Maybe
right,
he's the
but like,
integral
Ortiz
piece,
was sort of on Sammy's side a little bit.
Well, he's been, and if you remember, he's been on his side.
Right.
But, yeah, it's just, I don't know. Weird.
Yeah.
Fucking weird. Speaking of more things that are weird, we go backstage. Alex Marvez is with the Young Bucks. And the first thing they fucking do, hey, remember when we super kicked you a couple weeks ago?
I know they said that, but I was too focused on the fact that I am assuming Marvez lost a bet and had to shave all his hair.
Did he? Marvez
was, yep.
Was he bald?
His hair was shorter, but he shaved his weird beard.
I don't really look at him.
You shouldn't.
Yeah. I don't really look at him.
Yeah. His face looks like a California raisin. Like, it's just weird.
Interesting.
It's a fat head on Marvez.
Well, fathead Marvez for a reason.
It's true.
Yeah, though, they say, yeah, didn't we super kick you a couple weeks ago?
I remember.
And I was just like, oh, so you're back to being assholes then, because you kicked an announcer for no fucking reason.
They were like, hey, Marvez, you remember when we were mad?
Oh, there it is. We're back.
We're mad. Well, they're not mad anymore. They were just like, remember when we were mad?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it just, all right. I'm gonna.
It's lame.
He says that they say they're going to give a shot to TH2.
Great.
The Acclaimed comes in. Max,
because that's what everyone I guess there's the audiences out there, right? But FTR loses and we don't see shit about them.
Yeah, they haven't been on.
Just fine. Take them.
They
off.
had like that one little promo, and that's it.
Take them off TV. Make them fresh again. But like, out of all your roster, this is where we're going to go. TH2. Okay.
Like, all right. I'll say this.
At least it's different.
It's different, and I'll give them credit for trying something. I'm never gonna knock them for trying something different,
right?
But it doesn't mean it's good.
No,
but I'm not gonna knock it an effort. But so the Acclaimed comes walking in.
Yep.
And Max Caster raps about how they're weird and look at each other's dicks on their cover of their book.
I hated this.
God damn you!
I hated it. The Acclaimed do not work for me.
Oh man!
In the ring, they're fine. But like this, and even they reference it, this John Cena-esque rap about a dick.
I immediately I hate. He's like, wasn't this somebody else's gimmick
That's
already?
Dumb.
I want to be like, yeah, so are the Rockers.
Right, exactly. It's dumb, but also the rap was stupid.
Oh, I liked it. You old fuddy duddy. You.
It was dumb.
You don't like hip hop, man.
I don't.
You don't like the kids in the battle rap.
I was I don't think he's good at it. I think he's very slow and sort of stops and goes at weird spots. But also I'm just haha wieners. I don't care.
I mean, that's all right. I'm not gonna whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, you're a bigger Young Bucks fan. That's cool.
Hey, whatever. No, I actually just actively hate both of these. all three of these teams involved.
Well,
in this.
yeah, because there was another team involved, and when Max Caster said, "Yeah, look behind you," TH2 definitely missed their cue.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Because it took
at the very least, Angelico was in a different room.
Yeah, he had to sprint over there because it's look behind you. 1, 2. Oh, there's Jack Evans.
Maybe he thought that the Young Bucks stunt foot from those few weeks ago was going to do the beating for him. I don't know.
So TH2 attacks the Bucks. They beat the shit out of them and throw the one Buck into a trash can.
Yep. Well, because he's trash.
Symbolism, baby.
Yeah.
And then Daniels and Kazarian run in for the save.
Sure.
Because we're all friends, I guess. I don't fucking know. Weird. Next match.
You can tell. So I think everybody pretty much knows this, but you can tell, when EVPs have their segments, that they get sole control because the Bucks every time they say, "We want all our friends in it, everybody, everybody in our segment."
They couldn't have just taken the beat down,
right? Right.
Just take the beat down and be done.
It's planting seeds. It's planting seeds for a next feud. Let it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's not. It ain't gonna work.
Yeah. Next match. Britt Baker going up against Layla Hirsch.
Yes.
Still waiting for her Taz's Maniacs invite.
Gotta be.
Absolutely. This match goes over 8 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Britt Baker gets the win with the lockjaw.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay.
So I love the entrance promo while she's coming out. They do a little inset,
of course,
promo. Do that for everybody. That was awesome.
Sure,
what it should be. But Britt's in-ring is her weakness. It exposes the shit out of her.
Yeah, her character is very good.
Right.
But I agree.
Hirsch looked great.
Yeah.
But Britt's in-ring is her absolute weakness, and she suffers.
I think it's going to be a problem with Hirsch.
Yeah.
That some people are going to think she's too small.
Yeah.
She is like tiny.
She can throw people, though.
And she could, no doubt. And I agree with you.
I'll tell you about somebody else who everybody thought was tiny, brother.
And that's where I was getting, sir.
Okay.
Some people thought my man, Taz, was a little too small, okay?
Yeah.
Let him hit you with the Brooklyn boot.
Right.
And then we'll be talking. Right. God, I fucking love Taz. But yeah, it was
like, maybe my legs were a little too short, and maybe my mohawk's a little too black.
Man.
But I'm still Taz, baby.
I wish we could have got a Taz versus Dusty Rhodes feud. Why the fuck not?
Because I don't want to see Dusty get hurt. Does Taz be like slitting Dusty Rhodes' throat on the entrance ramp with barbed wire? No.
Come on, it's great.
I love Dusty. I want to hug Dusty or protect Dusty. I don't want Dusty to be hurt.
You don't want Taz to put him in the Taz mission and wrap barbed wire in his fucking mouth?
No, I don't.
Oh, man. I mean, I'll give you that. After the match, Britt won't give up the hold, and then like a bat out of hell, Thunder Rosa jumps in the ring and beats the shit out of her. That first like 2 forearms she landed, I went, ooh.
Right.
She beats her up, kind of a pull apart. Reba gets in the ring and she gets tossed by Hirsch. I'm like, okay, that was kind of, I like that. And
that's how you got to get Hirsch over. If you're not going to have her winning matches, do something memorable. Have her suplex the shit out of people so people start to buy it. I think she's a good enough look. People are always going to assume that people are too short, just like you assume that about Adam Cole.
Fuck you.
But you earned that one for 3 days, by the way.
Why's that?
You know why. We're not going to air our dirty laundry on this podcast, but you know why.
Okay.
But have her do things that matter that are statement moves like that, and people will realize that she's stocky and built a power lifter who then just suplexes the shit out of people.
Again, she needs to get in Taz's Maniacs yesterday.
Yes, absolutely.
Come on, Taz. Make it happen, brother. Next match, we have Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin.
Yes.
Going up against Taz's Maniacs, Powerhouse Hobbs, and Ricky Starks.
Hobbs' gear, we talked about it last week, is such an improvement for him.
Yeah.
All the way around.
So,
and I love that dude from minute one. But
on Dark's commentary, they asked Ricky Starks why he doesn't wear orange, and he said, "Listen, it messes with my skin complexion." It's good for you, pal.
All right.
So this match ends up with Cody Rhodes and Darby Allin getting the win. Did it feel like short to you?
Yeah, listen. They knew what they were getting to. And this match didn't matter.
I know, but it still felt, I don't know. I felt like there was a little bit more juice to squeeze out of this for some reason.
Sure.
I felt like they did a good job, in the last couple weeks.
Yeah.
With the Hobbs turn and then the Taz stuff last week.
There's a ton of juice to squeeze out of Darby and Hobbs and Starks. There ain't much juice in Cody, and he keeps interjecting him.
Are you sure?
Well, pretty sure.
What's the wellness policy looking like at AEW?
Well, different kind of juice.
Yeah. But yeah, it was okay.
Yeah, it was fine. I liked Arn whooping ass.
Yeah, how about that shit? I was
he did an interview. Did you see this?
I did not.
He did an interview and people asked him who has the best spine buster in wrestling. He's like, it's my move. I invented it.
Damn right.
And he mentioned a couple people that I don't remember. He didn't mention Will Hobbs, which I thought was real shitty.
Yeah.
He mentioned Rhino though. So
hell yeah.
But he also said that he feels he has 2 or 3 spine busters left in him.
Well, I thought
he doesn't know what he's going to do. He's not going to tell people when, but he's got them. And he also said that the one against the Undertaker was his favorite of his career.
Well, that was Taker's favorite too.
Yeah,
he talked about on the Broken Skull thing when Arn runs in, and Austin's like, "God damn, kid!"
Yeah, right.
Spine on the pine.
But yeah. So Arn, I love seeing Arn get in the ring.
Yeah, and then he got held back and got his big old belly kicked, and that made me laugh. I thought him and Taz were gonna have a showdown.
Me too.
And I'm like, holy fucking shit! My world is about to explode.
Right. Yeah.
But yes, after the match, that's when all the shenanigans are happening.
A melee, if you will, because Dustin comes out.
Dustin hits the ring. Brian Cage hits the ring. And then all of a sudden, the lights drop. And at this point, I'm watching NXT live. You're watching AEW live. You text me and say, AEW, now, go.
Yes, because I know you.
Yes, you do.
And I know how big of a pop this was going to be for you.
Sure was.
And I knew that obviously that shit was going to be immediately spoiled.
Yes. So I thank you.
And we're both running social media at the same time. We're both tweeting about our individual shows.
Sure.
So, we'll say later, the end of the show, I was able, I'm like, stay off your shit.
Yeah.
But if we're both tweeting, it's kind of hard to miss a lot of stuff.
Of course.
So I was like, he's got to, there's nothing on NXT is going to be as important as this right now.
And this is why you're my best pal.
And that's, I knew. That's huge. I was freaking out.
Yeah.
And there was speculation about this weeks ago because WWE had dropped.
There's been talks.
The rights to pulled the figure off.
Mm-hmm.
And
pulled the figure or lost the licensing.
Right. So the lights went down. It started to snow.
It sure did.
And not from the rafters.
Oh, no.
And not Stang. No. Not NWO Stink.
Nope.
But the real Stinger.
It's Sting!
Sorry for that, everyone. I'll try and fix that.
Nope, I had to. Fuck you.
Okay.
Dude, listen. I fucking love Sting. Mm-hmm. A couple months ago I was on a huge, right. I watched the whole timeline of Sting, literally fucking everything.
Yeah.
I love Sting. I will always love Sting. That dude can do no fucking wrong in my mind.
Right.
Like a month or so ago, some fucking idiots tried to be controversial on Twitter, oh, Sting wasn't really that good. Go fuck yourself. Sting is one of the best of all time.
So Sting was never really my guy.
I understand.
But go fuck yourself if you don't think he was one of the best of all time.
Yeah.
Sting carried a company on his back through good and bad.
Yeah.
Through real good and real bad.
Yeah.
Had what little morals a professional wrestler can have and refused to go to Vince until the absolute last goddamn moment.
Literally.
Sting is a legend. Sting is... when he calls him the icon, and I get a little upset because I'm like, my icon is Piper.
Piper, of course. Yeah, well,
because I cower over no man. But
yes.
But
Uso, you piece of garbage.
If anybody else deserves it, it's the Stinger. And right in that prime spot of wrestling is that WCW. It's Sting versus the NWO. And it's a huge part of my wrestling fandom. And I popped huge for Sting. I knew you were going to. And, it was a cool moment.
I turned the TV on.
He doesn't look as old as he is. People complain about his age. He doesn't look as old. With the makeup, he doesn't look as old as he is.
See, with his hair gray and kind of short.
He's got a flat top.
I know. I'm like, oh, brother.
He's got a flat top.
I'm like, I fucking love you, Sting. I really do, but oh, brother.
If he's not going to dye it black and wet it down, he's got a flat top it.
Yeah, because that hairline's
whoop, right.
Looking almost as bad as the one Jackson.
Right.
Fucking Sting is in AEW.
Stinger.
He walks over to Arn, looks him dead in the eye, and dude, commentary did a great fucking job. I think it was either Shivani
It's almost like Tony knows how to call Sting
crazy,
stuff.
right?
Yeah, wild.
What a wild concept.
Right.
They say, when he walked over and he looked Arn right in the eye, and they're like, these two have no love lost. That was cool.
Yeah.
He walked over, he checked on Dustin. They say they have a history. They've known each other for years. I loved when he walked over to Cody and they go, listen, Cody's favorite wrestler is always his daddy. But when Cody was a little kid, it was the Stinger.
Right.
And I'm like, fuck yeah. And then when he walked over to Darby, commentary didn't say anything, which I was like, fuck yes.
Right.
Plant that fucking seed. We've talked about, the talk has been swirling out there about Sting going there. Even everybody making the jokes with Darby sitting up in the upper tier of Daly's place.
Certainly on purpose.
Of course it was.
Right. This is an instance where they're playing the long game the right way.
Yes. still seeing Sting. I will always pop for Sting.
Yeah.
I love Sting.
Right.
He is fucking incredible.
Yeah. So, I don't know if you saw Howard the Dave messaged us on Twitter and said to listen to Tony on the call.
Oh, it's amazing.
I didn't listen.
Oh,
I just didn't get around to it.
Brother.
So, but here's my little what if question I'm gonna throw at you about Stinger.
Hit me with it.
Listen, I love Sting. I popped huge. Sting ain't bumping.
No, and I said this in a conversation to a friend who was side texting me about Sting because it's Sting on wrestling, and they went, holy
on
shit.
TNT.
Yeah, and you know, like, they're my age, and they were just like, holy fuck, Sting's on wrestling again? I was like, yeah. And their question is, he's not wrestling, is he? And like I said, I hope not.
I hope not. I think he'll be involved, but Sting. But let me get to my point. Sting's not bumping, right? Tony Khan's excited. There's no way Sting doesn't cost a lot of money. And they said to TK, TK said he's got a multi-year. Now, Sting is 61, 61?
I'm not sure.
Something like that. I think 60s. He's in his 60s for sure. Yeah. And for a 60-year-old dude, he looks great. He looks better than I will ever be in shape.
Yeah.
Like Sting. So we didn't get the sort of Sting Undertaker dream matches everybody wanted. He got hurt and ended his career. Thank you very much, Seth Rollins, you piece of shit. But but my what if, and this isn't me saying it's a bad idea. This isn't me saying this is what I feel about it. But my question is, my what if, my sort of could this be a problem is Sting is there, arguably the biggest name in your company.
Not arguably.
Okay.
He's the biggest name in your company. Absolutely.
Tons of money buried in him.
Yep.
So you're going to use him.
Yep.
So who doesn't get used? What young guys up and comer suffers because they got to put Sting into every show? There's so much money buried into him, and it's Sting. You want eyes, and that's the big thing behind this is as much as TK's happy to have Sting and is marking out, and as much as Cody is to have Sting around, you got to use him. You got to put him in the stuff, and Darby will get a push from it, thankfully. Absolutely. But there's gonna be people on the down card who have been your John Silvers, your whoever else is your Miros, who have been mid card, your best friends, your whoever. That aren't going to get you're not on Dynamite this week. Here's our 10-minute Sting segment because it's got to be millions. There are millions dug into Sting. Got to use them.
Yeah, and I was going to more so bring this up towards the end of the show. Okay. Because there was a big glaring hole in this show last night. Okay. So we'll talk about it at the end.
So, and it's not that that's how I feel about it necessarily. I'm excited that Sting's there. I'm excited to see what they're doing. But the multi-year thing concerns me because you're not going to not use Sting. You're not going to send Sting home or say, "No, you're not on today." Like backstage, he's going to be a huge help. But the ratings that we'll talk about later, and again, the one-day rating, they're great. You have this huge bump. That's awesome. But you have to extend that over weeks to months to years, right? That's the goal here. The TV ratings are long game. So you're not going to not use Sting. And it's another guy who is nostalgia. How much nostalgia is too much nostalgia? I hope that they do it smart ways, and they can. They can cut 2 or 3 minutes off every match, get rid of some of these segments that aren't working. Shrink your 12-minuters to your 8 minutes or 20 minutes to your 15, and fit everyone in. Especially when they run as fast paced as this Dynamite was, because this was a fast paced show.
So I'm gonna pose this to you.
Okay.
Is the Shaq Cody shit dead already?
Yeah, they would have brought it up already, right?
You would think, right?
You have to. So
I look at it this way. I wonder if they thought, and this is just me, was this an idea that TNT pitched?
Right.
Or was this a Tony Khan thing?
Right.
Because, I wonder too, because the announcement of Shaq,
right.
I think the crowd, they expected their fan base to be crazy, right. and most of the fan base was like, "We don't want
who cares?"
this.
And I think they wanted SportsCenter coverage and all this other stuff. And
we always say, "What does WWE want?" The mainstream media blip.
So, and maybe
I feel like that's what they want.
But we haven't seen Jade Cargill again.
No,
Brandy hasn't been even this week out there. I listened to Jade on Unrestricted from a few weeks ago, but I listened to it this week, and she's just training now. So she sounds very smart, but she's also, in character or not, but also she's like, I'm too afraid to jump off the top rope. She's like, I'll never do top rope things because it's too scary for me. I'm like, then you're not a wrestler.
What the hell are you doing?
Because you don't have to do it. I'm not saying you need to be able to do that to be a wrestler. Plenty of guys that I love didn't go off that top rope. But to come out and say that you're afraid of it, that you're never going to do it because that part
probably
scares you,
do that.
Then you're in the wrong business. So I don't know. I don't know what they have. I don't know where they're going. Who knows when maybe in 2 months it'll come back up again and Shaq will show up and be like, remember?
Yeah, the crowd will still go mild.
Right. I don't know.
It gives me like that vibe of like the whole Tyson thing.
Right.
Like, look, that happened and nothing came of it.
I think they do that a lot. I think, and it's fine. People don't seem to care, but they toss away a lot of storyline when they don't get the full-on reaction they think they're getting. That's basically been Brandy's entire career there. But yeah, I mean, it's probably a little dead in the water because it didn't make the splash that it did. And
everybody's thoughts was just, I don't want this.
And excuse the pun here, but Stinger made a splash.
God damn you. Yeah, he made a splash so much
everybody's talking about it.
Yeah, everybody's talking about it. I mean, ESPN tweeted it out last night.
Right.
I got a word from Bleacher Report on my phone about it.
Right.
Even the shitty website that sells T-shirts for the company, like this morning they were like, "Yep, Sting, like the Sting AEW shirt." Mm-hmm. They go, "That's our highest selling T-shirt in 24 hours already."
Wow.
So they moved a lot of fucking product last night.
Good.
Which right there, like. I understand it's the initial burst,
but
people know who Sting is.
Right.
People that watch wrestling in the 80s know who Sting is. Like he was a fucking huge star.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he's one of the biggest stars in all of professional wrestling.
Huge star. Probably, I mean, the center point of my favorite storyline ever.
Right.
And the biggest story.
Wrestling was so big at his time that, like, not only was Sting a cornerstone of the wrestling company, he was a cornerstone of that network.
Oh, absolutely.
He got TNT original movies out of
his damn right he did.
Shutter Speed, old Steve Gordon. But, like, that's how, like, he was one of those guys that transcended wrestling. So it's a big get.
Yeah, it's clear you and we love Sting.
Right.
And you should love Sting too.
You absolutely should. I will not support any Sting bashing.
No. Hey, when all the stupid takes about Sting were on Twitter, I said there will be no slander on Sting on my timeline. That's absolutely. Fucking sure.
And he feuded with the Great Muta. Come on.
Thank you.
Come on. Terry Funk was feuding with Ric Flair in the greatest feud of all time, and the secondary feud to that was Sting feuding with Muta.
Like, what more do you want?
Come on.
I'm hyped right now. So we go backstage. Marvez is standing with Hikaru Shida, who calls out Abaddon, saying, "You're just zombie cosplay." She hears some clattering, gets real scared, and runs.
So there's something else happened in this promo, and I was hoping you'd bring it up. They missed an opportunity. Marvez missed a big opportunity.
What did he do? I don't pay much attention to him.
Sheeta got scared by the noise and asked if they could start the promo over.
Oh, I wish like JR would have cut in and just said, "We're live, pal."
Right, and Marvez was just like, "No, I mean we're on TV," and I was like, "You son of a bitch." Like, you just had Sting and you missed the Sid reference? This is the world we live in?
Sacrilege.
It is.
Sacrilege.
You know what else I won't take on our timeline or in our general area?
Sid slander. Sid slander.
You don't bash Sid.
No, you got fucking right. God.
No, I only get to bash Sid that one time don't. I went to see him at the indie show in Jersey and he no-showed and the promoter called him on his phone and yelled at him in the ring on the microphone.
See, that's like
answering machine.
That's my second favorite Sid story. Yeah. Like, if not showing up, my first one is that he was affected by the travel ban. I think it was for an AEW show. Yeah. I'm sure Joe can relate the story better, but he didn't show up for a travel ban, and then EC3 dressed up as Sid.
Yes, right.
And he signed Sid 8x10 saying, "I'm not Sid." EC3.
Right. Awesome.
That's fucking hilarious. Yes. Moxley gets promo time.
Yep.
Talking about, like, the company, and this is supposed to be the biggest Dynamite in history, and said, like, 2 years ago, people were writing me off as washed up, and I bitch slapped, these people in the mouth, basically.
People are going to go banana.
It made me so happy.
Right.
Yeah, he dropped the, we're going to go banana and did the little wink at the camera. I was like, this guy, like, he's so likable.
Pat helped everybody.
Yeah. And, like, he knows.
Yeah, right.
Like, he fucking, it was a good promo. It was like, that dude could fucking talk with anybody. I love it. We go back to the commentary.
Yep.
And Don Callis is here.
Yeah.
Because Omega asked him to be here.
It's the Jackal, baby.
Who's the Jackal? Who was the Jackal? So there was an article that came out this week. I don't know. You probably didn't read it.
Nope.
You
guessed correct.
Yeah.
Sir.
Well, detailing it was kind of an interview, kind of not with Callis and his history with Omega.
Yeah. Which
I thought was it was actually really cool.
Yeah.
Callis was trained by Omega's uncle, the Golden Sheik.
Mm-hmm.
Years later, and he met Omega when he was a kid.
Mm-hmm.
And then years later, Omega called him, and after ECW and everything with Callis, he was booking those infamous Canadian death tours basically, and pushing Omega on him. He's I guess Omega used to wrestle under a mask when he first started, and he's no, take the mask off, you're gonna be it. And then they kind of lost touch or whatever because Callis had Business World. Mm-hmm. And then years later, Kenny called him and said, "Hey, I want you to Golden Sheik passed away. I want you to speak at his eulogy." And Callis was like, "What? How? Yeah. Why are you calling me?" He goes, "Oh yeah, that was my uncle." Right. And Callis was like, "What the why did you never tell me?"
Yeah.
And he's like, "I didn't know." I didn't want to tell you. So he did the eulogy for him, and ever since they refer to each other as family. Yeah. Which is cool. I think that that's real cool. There was the joke when Callis made to Omega over New Japan and said, "Get me booked, kid," you know? And Omega's like, "Okay, you're the announcer now." Right. So it's just a lot of history there. It was a real cool article. I forget who did it, but it was awesome.
Yeah, I agree.
Basically got Callis back into professional wrestling.
Yeah.
Because Callis is a VP for Impact now. Him and Scott D'Amore have been running.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
Oh.
And they made sure to mention that a lot last night. I wonder why. Because it is main event time. AEW World Heavyweight Championship match.
Yeah.
John Moxley.
Yes.
Going up against Kenny Omega.
Yeah. So going into this, I was like, listen, I'm never right about these things, but this one I'm right about. I was like, here's what's going to happen. I was like, I've been listening to a lot of things, a lot of wrestling stuff talking about how people got to go quarantine over in Japan for the next few weeks. Or, you go to Japan to be on Wrestle Kingdom, you got to go over there, you got to quarantine for 2 weeks before you can be on the show, so on and so forth, right?
We're about a month away from Wrestle Kingdom.
Right. So, I was like, here's what it is. About a month out, Omega wins the title. We know that is, right? But Mox was jumped a few weeks ago backstage, and we don't know by who, and they want us all to assume that it was Kenny, right? But I'm like, it's not Kenny, it's Kenta. I've read an article 3 or 4 days ago about Kenta still lives in Orlando. It's his home. He's moved there permanently. I'm like, well, he's there, and he just makes the trip over. He does this, and he's gonna come out at the end of the match and be like, I cost you this belt because you're not focused on the other one you have that I want. And I was like, it's a home run. I'm 100% right on this.
Sign me up.
Right. And I wasn't right.
I was wrong.
I was very, very wrong.
I mean, that would have been fucking cool.
Right. I thought it would have been really cool.
That would have been real cool.
Yeah.
Well, and there was the conference call, I believe it was yesterday or Tuesday, where Tony Khan said, "No, Moxley's not working Wrestle Kingdom." Right. Which I'm always like, it's wrestling. It's wrestling. You're lying.
Yeah.
But this match goes over 28 minutes.
It was an hour time limit. They teased the overrun, all that sort of stuff. So,
well, my friend.
Yes.
It's official. We have a new AEW champion, Kenny Omega.
Right.
This is the first, I think they said the first match that Moxley's lost since February.
Wow, that's crazy.
Well, that's when he won the belt at the end of February, and then COVID hit.
Right.
So Omega gets the win.
Mm-hmm.
So a couple things. Callis on commentary was fucking awesome, I thought.
Yeah.
Dude adds a lot to matches.
It was a swollen 4-man booth that Callis made work.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I mean, obviously they were trying to get something over, so maybe they let him do a little more than in a normal situation. But it was I honestly think 3 people are usually too much.
I agree.
Unless the third is Dusty or Bobby the Brain.
That's right, baby.
But
I
prefer 2. I prefer Gorilla and Bobby.
Of course.
You know, I prefer
Vince and Jesse.
Vince and Mach. But no, they did a really good job with the 4 for sure.
Yeah, like Callis was. I mean, he was putting over Mox huge, like saying. Like when Omega pinned him once and he goes, like screaming to Omega, he's like, you're not going to pin Jon Moxley by not hooking the leg. I was like little, just tiny shit like that I love. Plus, I loved Callis over in New Japan when him and Kevin Kelly were together.
Right.
I thought they were great.
They were good, yeah.
But yeah, so during the match, you know, it's going back. I mean, first of all, super fucking hard hitting.
Yeah.
These guys beat the shit
out
of
each other. A lot of outside stuff, which was odd because they just let everything go.
Well,
which is fine.
Championship match.
I guess.
I look at it this way, where like it's like the New Japan thing, where the ref is like, they're not going to call disqualification in a championship match.
Right.
Like, let them go.
Yeah,
you know? Which JR had a shit fit on over commentary.
You let a little more pass interference go in the Super Bowl.
Exactly. Let them play.
Let them play. You're not gonna call a championship match on DQ.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Unless it's really egregious.
But yeah, they beat the shit out of
it. It was the match I expected out of these 2. No surprises.
No, not at all.
I knew Omega was going to win. I knew all that sort of stuff. I mean, no surprises until the end, I guess. But as the match, I enjoyed it. I got a little overbooked towards the end.
Well,
but
yes and no. I thought Omega like relied on the V trigger a little too much.
Yes.
Like that move, like it looks like he kills people with it.
Yes.
And I'm like, a little too much.
The bump on the heaters was not as good as they wanted it to be.
No, it definitely wasn't.
So, like, they did a good job at acting like he was hurt for real.
Yeah.
Because I was like, that bump, he did nothing.
It didn't look good.
And then I was like, ooh, but that could be why. Like, sometimes it goes wrong in that direction.
Yeah.
So they did a good job that way.
Well, and even like during the match, you know,
I also don't like wrestling faking concussions in mid matches anymore. Like, just
was it a concussion or
I mean, they were checking.
Know.
I don't know, whatever. But
yeah, I get it.
But
like during the match, Moxley hits him with the paradigm shift. He doesn't go to cover him,
right?
And like immediately, commentator's like, "What are you doing?"
Yeah.
And me too. I'm like, "Well, yeah, the purpose of this match is to win."
Right.
But he goes outside, grabs a chair. They start talking about like the gentleman's agreement.
Mm-hmm.
He sets him up and they do the whole like punch for punch deal.
Right. And Shivani's like, I've never seen this before.
Yeah.
Which then I tweeted at Tony Schiavone, told him to watch more Necro Butcher matches because Necro Butcher not an upstanding citizen in any way.
No.
But if you want to watch a man slap another man in the face while sitting in a chair, that's where you go.
That's where you go. The punches look good when they were throwing them.
Yeah.
But yeah, that spot on the outside with the heater.
It was a pay-per-view match, which is another sort of hint as to Moxley must be going to New Japan because you don't give this match away for free. I don't care who we are.
I tend
even with the angle afterwards.
I tend to agree with you, but their next pay-per-view is not till February.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
That's tough. Yeah. That's tough to hold that off
true.
For that long.
Yeah.
But towards the end of the match, Callis runs down. Mm-hmm. He's checking on Omega. You know, they're putting it over on commentary like, "Oh, that's his nephew." All this shit.
Mm-hmm.
He has the mic and he's like screaming like he's hurt. He's hurt. Moxley shoves him, which that's a very heel thing to do there, Mox.
Right.
But again, he's frustrated.
Mm-hmm.
Which the microphone just so happens to get to Kenny Omega.
Mm-hmm.
He bashes Mox. Blood everywhere. Omega gets the win.
Yes.
New AEW champ. Him and Callis start celebrating together.
Yes.
Which I was like, okay.
So I was immediately like, oh, weird. A TNA guy getting that involved in he's an Impact guy getting that involved in the main thing. Like, I'm like, just even watching it, like, I wrote it on my notes, like, doesn't that bring a little too much attention to Impact? Because, like, they got over on commentary about, you know, all that sort of stuff.
Well, even when Callis got shoved down, like, right. Jared's like, oh, what are the Impact there?
Right. And The other thing that bothered me in this match, it's very minor, but commentary was shocked that Kenny was heel.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, this is what you guys have been trying to force feed us a little bit at a time. Like, so, like, we know this. Everyone knows this. Everyone on the internet's like, oh, they're subtle teasing. They're not subtle teasing anything. Kenny's been a dork about it, but he's been a heel.
Yeah.
That's what you've been doing. This isn't a surprise to anyone.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah. So him and Callis get arm in arm. Mm-hmm. Callis says, let's fucking get out of here.
Right.
They run past Tony Khan and I forget what Callis said to him, but they run past some jobbers. Mm-hmm. They're sprinting out to the parking lot. Right. Marvez chases them down. Mm-hmm. He's like, what the hell is going on? I love that Shivani just goes, this is bullshit.
Right. Lots of shit skis on this episode.
I'm a fan. Hey, it's cable TV. Let's do it.
Sure.
Callis starts screaming into the microphone like, you're going to get your answers Tuesday night. Mm-hmm. It's like, but Dynamite's Wednesday night.
Right.
He goes, that's right. Tuesday night, Access TV, Impact Wrestling.
Right.
We'll talk about. I'm like, whoa.
Yeah.
What the hell?
Big shock.
That is fucking wild.
Right.
So it brought me back to where, like, Tony Khan said, I'm kind of putting my aces, like, on the table. And Omega did that interview and said, we're going to be trying some stuff.
Yeah.
So now it's coming out. And I'm like, wow, holy shit.
Yeah.
So looks like maybe a start of a working agreement.
Yeah.
Maybe it's just a thing where Omega's close with Callis.
Right.
And Omega wants to do him a favor.
Right. So before we get into hard feelings on this one, Kingston comes out and...
I'm happy you mentioned this.
Yeah.
Because he didn't come out.
No.
He's just on microphone.
He's just on microphone.
And just screams about Archer and next week.
Yeah.
And when you brought it up before about people like suffering, like TV time or something.
Right.
Okay, you're hyping this as like your biggest Dynamite ever.
Mm-hmm.
Who's been an integral part of this television show?
Kingston's carried the last 3 months of this show.
And you don't have anything on this show
Nope.
except for a little blip at the end that felt super forced.
Right.
Like, I get you don't want people to forget about Kingston, but what I was actually
you had a
mad.
hot angle with Pac coming back with all this stuff going on, and you put Jericho Kazarian because again you got money buried in Jericho. You got to use them. You got to use them, and that's what sucks. Is there's a lot of guys that are going to get high paid that are nostalgia acts for better or worse. Some of them are good, some of them are bad, and other people are going to suffer. And that sucks.
That bummed me out.
Yes.
It actually bummed me out. I know, like I said, people are going to take it one way as, like they made sure Kingston got there.
Nah.
But not really. It was he literally said like 2 sentences and that was it.
It was an afterthought.
And it took, I thought, honestly, and not nothing on Kingston, but I thought it took away from the whole Callis thing.
Right. Right.
It was the announcer should have been freaking the fuck out about this.
It was the wrong spot for it. Absolutely.
So, yeah.
So back to the Impact thing. So...
Interesting.
I'm not mad about it at all. I think it's a great idea. I don't watch Impact. I even went to Twitter and I said the question on everyone's mind now in 2020, how the hell do you watch Impact Wrestling? I mean, Access TV, I know they're on Twitch, but a lot of people are going to be asking that question, which was the point.
I can't wait to see the ratings for Impact.
Like this is going to be a big deal. So I don't get Access TV anymore on my YouTube TVs. But I'm going to tune in one way or the other.
Yeah.
Question for you just about that for a second.
Sure.
When it's on Twitch, do they put a replay up for you on demand afterwards?
I don't watch it on Twitch.
Okay.
I have Access TV and I DVR'd
and
fast forward through.
So I got to look and see, but we'll figure that out because we are going to watch. We'll cover it.
Absolutely.
So
so right now the tough thing for me about Impact, kudos to them. It's smart. There's no crowd. But it's tough.
Yeah. So I think it's a really good idea. It's better for Impact than it is for AEW.
100%. And Omega's been dropping in interviews like, wrestling companies should have working relationships.
Right.
It's better for the fans. And like he's been saying, like, I'm more focused on giving the fans something at this point than worrying about just my company. Like, I want the fans to be excited.
So, Impact is in an interesting spot. They have talent. They have a lot of good talent. If I was the Rascals, I'd be real pissed.
Yeah, could you imagine that?
But
maybe they like stooged it off to the one who didn't sign with NXT.
Right. So Impact is going to be walking a tightrope. They're going to get huge ratings for the few weeks, however long this lasts, right? With the possibility of it always being there. And some of the lower card guys can go back and forth if they wanted to, I would assume. But, this Tuesday is going to be huge for Impact.
It's massive.
The problem that they can get, which I don't know that they will, but you get some guys that look real good in this and really make the AEW guys look good and are really an important part in this feud, and their Impact contract comes up and they go where more money is, right over to AEW, and Impact becomes a farm league.
I mean, it's tough because, all right, so when Callis took over Impact, he kind of, I remember, reading interviews where he said, he's like, I want to build this, my favorite time in wrestling, which is, mid-90s All Japan, where you have your 4 pillars.
Right.
The problem is, Impact, it sucks that it still has such, a negative stink to it from the Dixie days.
Yep.
Some people just won't give it a chance.
Right.
And the problem is, they don't have the money to compete with money that AEW is going to give or money that the E is going to give.
And so AEW has to be also respectful in that way and resist the urge of taking talent.
Yeah, don't poach the talent.
Right.
Maybe Tony Khan will put them on the payroll.
It could be a WWE ECW kind of thing, which was going to be my next point. It's very possible.
Maybe.
Talent exchange isn't a bad thing.
I love the idea of a talent exchange. Yeah. I always have. Again, Omega's been dropping hints left and fucking right about it. Mm-hmm. I hope AEW, their heart's in the right place.
Yeah.
And we want, listen, we have a TV deal.
Mm-hmm.
TNT loves us. They gave us more years. They love us. We need to help wrestling as a whole.
Well, let's hold off on that prediction because my prediction at the beginning of the year, my bold prediction for AEW might still come true.
It certainly got shot down real quick.
Yeah, you don't know that. There's still 3 weeks left.
But hopefully it's hey, let's help.
This is a sidebar, and I'm sorry for cutting out, but those AEW shows the end of last year were real bad.
Well, yeah,
and they really
fucking bad.
This is
there's still certain weeks where I'm like,
right.
Not every show though is going to be a knockout. It's
absolutely.
It's you need to produce 52 weeks of television a year. That's fucking tough.
And
then COVID hits.
Right. It's an interesting time in wrestling. I'm super excited about it, and I'm gonna watch some more wrestling next week.
So, can we officially say Tuesday nights?
Oh yeah, no.
We're done. We're done with that.
I hinted at the beginning. While this is happening, while we're promised and it's promoted that AEW people will be on Impact, we're not going to cover Dark.
Fuck no.
I might scroll through and see if there's matches or something, just to look at the card listing. But and to that is if they put Kingston on there or somebody like that.
Yeah, all right, I'll give you that.
But I ain't watching matches for the hell of it. Not while this is happening.
No more.
No way. I think that this is more important for the show. I think it's just more important to talk about what people are going to want to see. And then we'll carry it on from there, and we'll see how long if this is going to be, how this main angle is, how long that's going to be. Because, they're not going to cross over every week and show guys both up. But it's hot right now, so they're going to do that a little bit. It's going to be interesting to see all the people that are on the AEW roster who were in Impact and TNA and see, Stinger, Kingston, Santana and Ortiz,
Brian Cage he was there.
A lot of guys there that don't have the best stories or memories.
Cage left Impact almost as their world champ.
Right. So it's going to be interesting, but it's an exciting time for wrestling. And I don't watch Impact; I haven't watched it in a long time. But there's a lot of people I like.
So Impact caught a little buzz earlier this year after the 90-day clauses were up.
Mm-hmm.
Brian Myers is there.
Yeah.
Good Brothers are there. So they caught some buzz. I feel like it died off. Yeah. But then again, I looked at their TV ratings. They're still not doing good numbers. but they cracked like the top 150 or something like that.
A lot of people don't
week.
have access.
And that's another thing. You know, access isn't in a lot of homes. So I don't know what their Twitch numbers are like. I don't watch on Twitch.
Yeah.
I only watch one show on Twitch,
Yes.
Pigs, baby. But yeah, it's a cool idea.
It is.
It's a cool idea.
It's a cool idea that WWE will never do.
They don't have the fucking balls to do it.
You know, it makes wrestling exciting. You know, we talk about it here and there, but like you and I are both huge Japanese wrestling fans.
100%.
You know, and there's always been freelancers that would float or, you know,
Always.
interpromotional stuff.
There still is.
You know, Kojima and Tenzan were tag champs in New Japan and All Japan at the same time.
Sure were.
You know, Hayabusa and Jinsei Shinsaki would go from FMW to New Japan and show up and like back and forth, all that sort of stuff.
Go work ECW.
And then go work ECW. So, and it's a little different. Like for them coming to ECW, it's a little different because it's different countries.
Sure.
And there wasn't access there. But I don't mind a talent share. And, you know, I retweeted some of them from the show account, but Jordan Grace was like, now that it's out here and she's in TNA and everybody's saying that TNA's women's division is really good.
It is.
Which can help elevate AEW's garbage women's division just because of the way they book it.
Yeah.
But she had listed like dream matches between the two things now. And a few of them caught my eye, and they're, you know, the main one being John Silver versus Ken Shamrock.
Fuck yes.
And Rhino versus Wardlow, to which I respond that anybody against Rhino is a
dream match. I'm so happy
match.
you did that because you're 100% right.
So anybody in AEW versus Rhino is a dream match that's worth your money. So
can we get Rhino versus Taz?
I mean,
yes, we can say
not
yes.
in 2020 or 2021, but
not in 2020, but 2021.
Maybe if somebody buys Taz a treadmill.
Hey, you lay off my baked potato.
Yep. But yeah, it's an exciting time in wrestling, and it's gonna be.
I'm excited.
I'm excited.
I am. I'm actually excited.
This was a big show.
You know, and a lot of people like that's all they were fucking talking about on wrestling Twitter today.
Yeah.
And last night was just like holy shit. Like
yeah.
a lot of people are already poo pooing it,
right.
which I'm like, give it a fucking chance.
People will always poo poo it. Give it a chance. It's something interesting in wrestling.
I will say, Trevor Dame had such a funny tweet. He's like, Omega's going to walk into the empty Impact Zone next week and go, damn, I thought it was cold in Florida last week. And that made me giggle real bad.
But yeah, this was a big show. And I am completely confident in saying that winter came.
Ew.
Winter came all over the place this week.
That was AEW. Let's talk the other show on Wednesday nights.
NXT. Listen, I have a real big feeling we're going to cruise through this.
Yeah.
So
sure are. They start off, everybody's on the stage for Pat Patterson.
Mm-hmm.
They do a fucking awesome
it was great.
tribute video to him.
It was incredible.
I will say WWE's production, like their video packages and documentaries and everything, that's second to none.
Yep.
It always has been. They do like the thank you Pat chants or whatever, and yeah.
It was a really good video.
It was awesome. Go watch it. We're kicking off the show, Damian Priest and Leon Ruff going up against Santos Escobar.
Yeah.
And The Line, Raul Mendoza.
This match proves that Damian Priest can even get me to not enjoy two of the guys I've been enjoying the most on NXT.
Yeah, Kurt Stallion was supposed to be in the match, but I guess they showed he got jumped by Legado del Fantasma. I guess that's a carryover from 205 Live, the show that doesn't exist.
Yes.
Gargano's on commentary for this with his white suit coat.
Yep.
Looking dapper as fuck. This match goes like 12 minutes. Damian Priest and Leon Ruff get the win, but you know my pet peeve with this.
Yeah, the push together tag team. At least the champion didn't get pinned.
Yeah. Well, poor Mendoza got
right.
pinned.
I knew this was the way this was going to go.
Sure.
I like Leon Ruff. I like, the idea of what they're doing, but making Damian Priest wrestle isn't going to get this over.
Did you like that Damian Priest now doesn't take a shirt off when he wrestles? And he wears a leather tank top?
Leather tank. Yeah, that's fashionable. Yeah. Leather tank top. Yeah. Great.
I wonder if it's pleather.
Ugh.
I don't know.
Who cares?
But yeah, afterwards, I mean, listen, Legado and Phantasma, I thought was
look great.
A lot of fun. That sequence where Mendoza just kept ducking Priest's offense, I was like, "This is great. Yeah, I love it."
Overall, not interested. As soon as Damian Priest steps in that wrestling ring, I'm out.
I know.
Where's my phone?
Where's my phone? They shoot over to Gargano on commentary. Well, during the match, Priest ran into Ghostface in the crowd.
Multiple ghost faces.
Well, there was only one at first.
Oh, right.
And then after, he looks out and sees Gargano, and there's 2 ghost faces behind Gargano.
I was like, what are the odds of a fan dressed as Ghostface?
So, don't know where we're going with that. Who knows? Maybe it's both members of the Redacted Club. Listen, if they do that, at that point, they're fucking with us.
Yeah.
And I won't accept it.
At that point, Road Dogg listens to this show, and he's just trying to take it out on us because we're, I don't know,
man. He's not on Twitter anymore because he's a big fat baby. The big old baby.
Oh, if you didn't know, your ass better tweet somebody.
You big baby.
Big old baby.
They show a recap of Pete Dunne's win last week. Mm-hmm. Then they show a video with Undisputed Era in a limo going to get some dinner. And they just say they're ready to whoop ass in Wargames.
Wasn't Shotzi's thing before that, where she gets an engine?
I thought it was after that.
Whatever.
It doesn't matter. Spoiler about this show, there's a lot of vignettes.
Yes.
Candice LeRae gets interviewed. Well, they all get interviewed.
Yeah, the heel ladies Wargame team.
Damn right. And Raquel Gonzalez says that she's going to beat up Shotzi and make her feel like she got run over by a tank. Good one.
Hey, you leave the dudettes with attitudettes alone.
Liz, she was rocking her Wolfpack gear last night. I'm a big fan. Maybe she knew Sting was going, and that was her little tribute to Wolfpack.
Probably not.
Probably. It's her tribute to Kevin Nash.
Yeah.
Next match.
Everyone should be paying tributes to Kevin Nash.
Dude, did you? Okay, first of all, do you follow the WCW Deep Cuts account on Twitter?
Yeah, of course.
Oh, it's the best Twitter.
Yeah. Did you kick when he lays Virgil out?
No,
Vincent?
Did you see the one today where he elbows Prince IK?
Yeah, where he does the little dance.
Oh man, it made me so happy.
Yeah, and the interview where he talks about how he always thought it'd be fun to do him at Nash and Hall were a gay couple.
Yeah,
because
he's the best.
Right,
woke Nash, he's my favorite.
All right,
he's my favorite. God, I love that man. Next match we have August Gray with. I think this is August Gray's because did he wrestle Thatcher? I don't remember.
He did.
Going up against
Cameron Grimes.
To the moon. Cameron Grimes.
The moon.
Squashes this motherfucker in 2 minutes.
Squishes him. Protect that cave-in, brother.
Yeah. Now, it's weird, though, because he's setting up the cave-in now.
Yeah.
It's not just
out
of nowhere. It's also a squash match.
On the nobodies, you can set it up.
That's true. After the match, Cameron Grimes starts talking shit to August Gray. He says, "I'm Cameron Grimes. I'm an absolute man."
He had the burlap sack with him, and he kept looking in it like there was something real cool.
I thought he was going to pull out Damien.
Yeah.
But he pulls out a strap and starts beating up Gray.
Right.
Gray goes to the outside. Cameron Grimes starts talking shit to the camera again. Great camera angle because all of a sudden he goes to pull the strap back in the ring. And it is Dexter Lumis attached because I like to think Dexter Lumis hangs out under the ring,
of course,
the whole show, just drawing caricatures,
pictures,
that tortured caricature artists,
right?
Loomis just starts beating the shit out of him.
Sneak attack strapation.
Listen, I'm a big fan of the apple pie strapation.
That's right.
He beats the shit out of Grimes, and they say, "Well, did they make it official here for Wargames? Them in the strap match?
Do they do it here? I think they announce it later.
Okay."
They just announce it when they go over the whole little graphics for it, but that's it. Yeah.
Either way, next match: Jake Atlas versus Tony Nese.
Yep.
Nese gets the jobber entrance. Atlas gets half a jobber entrance.
So I like Atlas, but this match is essentially Atlas looking in the mirror at his future self.
Yeah.
Unfortunately. And I think Atlas is talented, but they kept saying on commentary, Nese's former cruiserweight champion, all the potential in the world, good look, explosive in the ring. I remember when he came in, he was a big deal. But it's Atlas looking in the mirror.
Yeah, essentially. Atlas wins in 5.5 minutes.
Yeah.
They even give him the interview afterwards outside of the ring, which I thought was weird because last week or the week before he got a jobber entrance and got beaten in 2 minutes.
Right.
I like Atlas. but it just feels like he's stuck in a cycle right now of the start-stop.
Yeah, he's in the WWE.
They don't know what to do with him. They don't know what they have with him.
They're too afraid to use the actual name for his finish. And,
of course, well, and they're like, oh, he dedicates the match to Pat Patterson, and I'm like, did he though? Like after the match, first thing I should have said was, okay, that was for Pat. You know what I mean? But yeah, I don't know.
It wasn't bad. It was fine.
No, it was just there. But I just felt like it was just there.
This is your go-home show for a pay-per-view, essentially.
I agree, and it was just there.
Yeah.
So after this, here comes McAfee and company.
Yep.
And I like this from McAfee. Showed love to Pat Patterson immediately.
Right.
I was like, that was nice. And then he just goes, all right, like turns it on.
Yeah.
I'll tell you what. I love this promo. I thought it was great.
I like what McAfee does, but every single one of these goes too long.
Maybe.
The end was good when they let Pete talk and they zoomed in on his handsome face. But I think McAfee tends to ramble a little and gets every one of these a little too long, but they're not bad. They're just they can be tightened up a bit.
I don't know. I like it.
He gets going and he can't rein himself in so much.
He talks for a living. You know what I mean? Like that's what he does.
Yeah.
Because I think he's on Sirius now every day. So dude talks for a living and I think he's good at it.
I think he is, for sure. But tighten the shit up a little bit.
Yeah. I wonder if there's gonna be like another run in though. Because he mentions like the guy in the mask last week wasn't me, but he was handsome. So was he saying it wasn't me, wink, wink? Or was he like, there's somebody else I have? So
Jimmy Valiant?
Oh, let's go, baby.
He said handsome.
I agree. They could run a Grizzled Young Vets vignette. And then they run a vignette.
Yeah, let's have McAfee tighten up his promos a little bit so we can get more time of the WWE show's vignettes of torturing your Asian talent.
I'm not laughing because of that. I'm laughing because my immediate thought was, fucking really?
Yep.
Really? This is what we're going to do right now?
Every week this gets worse. Every week they're like, what else can we do to do our only Asian superstars? And they're like, it's probably not only Asian superstars, obviously, but like
Chinese,
yeah. Yes. To our Chinese superstars, what can we do? And it's like, well, let's torture them. Let's waterboard them a little bit. They're like, remember that scene in Bloodsport where Van Damme's training underwater so he can fight in the Kumite real good?
I sure do.
Let's do that, only like there's no redeeming quality, and it literally just looks like we're trying to murder our talent.
I'm not even going to try to justify it at all. I was like, what the fuck?
Wild.
What are you doing?
It's wild. Like, it's like, I can't miss because I'm like, they're really doing this. Like, them doing this would be just on the same level as if AEW decided to continue the waiting room with Britt Baker for a third week.
I know. Notice how they put the ixnay on that shit after 2 weeks. Boy, oh boy.
So
wasn't a rousing success. But yeah, don't do this anymore, please. Don't be dunking your Asian superstars in water over and over and over again.
And then they come back from it.
Torturing them.
Commentary is literally like, so that's a thing that happened. Next.
Yeah. Well, and then they're standing there and then they get caned.
Yes.
What the fuck?
I don't know.
Yikes!
I don't know what this reveal of like the woman that's leading this torture fest, Eli Roth level, but bad production levels.
I don't know, but big yikes!
Yeah, big yikes.
And
the thing that stinks, like, so if you go to Xia Li's like Instagram, it's a lot of her training videos. Like, it's a lot of
normal,
and like she's normal, but like. They show her like hitting a heavy bag and shit, and she's crushing that thing. And she like they show her like sparring and like hitting the pads, and she's a very talented martial artist, which I've said for weeks. Like, make her that in the ring.
Absolutely.
Watch her match from the Mae Young Classic where she just strikes the shit out of the person she's up against, and she looks like a goddamn killer.
Yeah.
And now they have like purple makeup under her eyes, and they're dunking her in a bathtub in the dark
and caning her.
It's insane. It's bad.
Yeah, it's fucking bad, dude.
It's bad.
Next match, we have Everrise.
Yay, Everrise.
That's right, baby. The streak is on.
That's right.
3-0.
That's right.
3-0. That's
right.
Going up against the grizzled young vets.
Do you care about these guys?
Not even a fucking little bit.
Great.
I honestly, like, even when I was trying to watch NXT UK, which was a thing,
right?
I never cared.
Yeah. You know what I care even less is when they decide to shit can Everrise and pair this match up with another team from, and I like the Imperium, but I don't care.
So
I'm not interested. If I wanted to see this, I'd watch NXT UK.
I was kind of mad about this, and it took me right out of it because I'm like, oh, it's a heel team versus a heel team.
I was on my phone for this match, didn't watch it.
Yeah, I didn't really give a fuck.
I was
I really did.
The only thing that was nice was that before Everrise got jumped, that bell rang.
It did.
So 4 in a row, baby.
Oh, I didn't see if they cut any promos.
I don't know if they did, but that counts. It counts.
They're
but I was like, if I want to watch this, I'm going to watch NXT UK. And I like Imperium, but I have no interest in Grizzly Young Vets.
I'm the same. I really don't care.
So I was just on my phone for this whole match. And it was probably good, but I don't care.
Honestly, from what I saw of it, it was okay.
Yeah.
There's zero investment for me.
Right.
In
don't
Grizzled
care.
Young Vets.
Right. They haven't done enough.
You said, like, Imperium, like, I like,
right.
But you're not Walter.
Exactly. And that's the other thing. These guys are cruising off of the Walter rub.
Yeah.
But I like them in the ring. I still think they're good in the ring.
But you know what? Like, even like that.
But let them be the invading UK talent to wrestle the NXT guys.
Yeah.
When it's UK versus UK, if I want this, I'll watch the NXT UK.
I'm with you.
And I'm not, because I'm not even sure it actually exists.
Yeah, outside of that Walter Dragunov match, I was like, oh, maybe I'll watch NXT UK. Nope. But towards the end of this match, Everrise runs back out and they start beating up Imperium, getting a little.
That's right, and that got me back into it.
Yeah, and then they beat up Grizzled Young Vets because they're the best. Everrise rules.
My favorite part is they're like, they got a taste. They got a taste. Everrise rules. They got a taste.
Matty Martell.
That's right.
I love them.
Yeah. And I love that they're getting this airtime. They're spinning a gimmick out of it, like
because they're the fucking best.
That's the thing. Like this is a talent who
they're so entertaining.
They can work. They are. Been watching these guys for a long time. Given the reins, given the airtime, they can steal a lot of hearts. And this is face turning them a little bit.
I hope.
And they can wrestle. They're undersized, maybe. Who isn't these days?
Yeah,
But it doesn't matter
compared to who they're wrestling.
Right,
or not.
Give them microphones. Give them airtime. And like this is what you're gonna get. And they're great at it.
Yeah,
absolutely great.
And I even love like they show like during the break them getting in their car outside and cutting the promo. Saying, you know what happened tonight? Everrise rules. That's what happened.
That's what happened.
Oh, I love Everrise.
Right.
We go to the ring for a Thatch cans.
Hey, Thatcher abuses his students because we can get enough torture in this episode.
the weekly torture of students.
Oh my god.
So I like this because Thatcher.
NXT Takeover presents Hostile 4.
Oh Jesus Christ. So Thatcher's in the ring talking to the camera. He goes to turn around and Ciampa is standing there.
Yes.
And he's just threatening Thatcher, like, come on, hit me. Go ahead. Like, and Thatcher's, again, I got no problem with you.
Right.
Ciampa calls him a disappointment. Thatcher takes him down.
Yeah.
Ciampa obviously gets the better of him.
Yes.
And then the student, who was one of the signees that we talked about when I already forgot his name, jumps Ciampa.
Yes.
I went, wow, holy shit.
Okay.
And then Ciampa gets choked out by Thatcher.
So I have a question for you.
I hope I have an answer.
Okay. Based on watching Ciampa get choked out, pick a part of his forehead or skull where he could gig without bleeding out.
If he nicks his head walking through like an overpass, he's done. He's fucked.
Yeah,
his head's so gross. It's disgusting.
Yeah. One of those things one of his veins might just pop on its own.
Like when he finally fell to the mat, I went, yeah. Like please don't hurt anything.
He's got so many veins on his head, it looks like his brain's on the outside.
Like he needs to wear like a skateboard helmet around at all fucking costs. Like he's gonna
not one of those cool ones either. One of the big old white ones. Yeah,
absolutely.
Yeah.
He's gonna trip and nick something, and that's it.
Right.
R.I.P. Ciampa.
Yeah, he can't gig. He'll bleed out no matter where he goes.
No, like the dude, he's always been in good shape, but then he got super vascular. Yep. And every time I see him, I'm just like, dude, you have veins everywhere.
Ugh, yeah, that's gross. It is weird.
Yeah. So Thatcher is getting interviewed backstage how he was proud of his student. And in the background, We had another return last night.
We did.
Long overdue.
We did.
We see the student talking to one Mr. Malcolm Bivens,
it's
baby.
Funny, we talked about him earlier. You talked to me about him before the show, and you don't remember. I don't remember his name either. But
I don't remember.
Gus something?
Gus.
It's Gus.
Gus Griswold.
It's Gus from now on.
Malcolm Bivens giving the man his card.
Right.
So,
yeah. I mean, hopefully,
let's start building Bivens Enterprises.
Right. Hopefully, this student doesn't take a picture of some gigantic NXT spoiler and post it to his Instagram right in the middle of a push, so he doesn't get pulled off TV, never to be seen from again.
Clown. Ugh. Main event time.
Put Bivens on TV. That's what I want.
That's all I want in my life. Main event time. Wargames Advantage ladder match. Another one because why the fuck not?
Yeah.
Raquel Gonzalez going up against Shotzi.
Yeah, on paper, excited for this.
Sup, Shotzi.
Ooh.
I'm happy you said on paper.
Yeah.
Because it went like 14 minutes.
It wasn't good.
It wasn't good.
No, this was disappointing.
Shotzi won. Listen, there were good ideas, I thought. But yeah.
It fell apart.
Which makes me... So Raquel's looked good, I feel like, in all of her matches.
Protected, though.
Protected. But
ladder matches are hard.
Ladder matches are
for someone who doesn't have a ton of in-ring stuff.
That was probably your first ever ladder match, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Listen, like, Shotzi's gonna, she'll go full death. She doesn't care.
Yeah, parts of this were cool.
Yeah.
But overall, it wasn't good.
I'm happy you agree.
One of the grossest parts in this whole match was Gonzalez is selling, in the corner on her knees. Her head's in, the middle turnbuckle. And Shotzi does her senton to her back.
Oh, my God.
And Gonzalez wasn't in the corner all the way. You're supposed to hug that corner so that when you get hit, you bounce
solid,
off. You bounce off the turnbuckle. It's all right there, and it prevents the padding for you. And she wasn't in it all the way. So when Shotzi hits her low back, her body, her torso,
turns
her
into a J.
juts right into that corner. I was like, that could not have felt good.
No, even when I saw it, I went, oh, God, that
was gross.
Yeah, that was
you got to be in the corner so that the turnbuckle absorbs the impact through you. Yeah. And she wasn't. And I was like, no, that's bad.
Yeah.
And backs are not, that is not a good thing. That is rough. So,
it was
yeah. But
awful.
It fell apart. I wasn't excited.
I thought it never got going.
Right. Well, yeah. It never really got going. Then, it would stutter and stop and something would be missed. And, there was, a ladder spot that was weird. Some stuff here. It just wasn't what they thought it would be, especially for a go-home show. But when I.O. shows up. I got right back into it.
I'm going to make my proclamation. Sup, I.O.
Wow. Well, you just supped Shotzi.
I'll take them both. I'm hardcore. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I.O. officially joins Ember's team.
Yeah.
For Wargames, and Ember's team has the advantage.
Yes.
In Wargames.
Yes. Who has the advantage in the male?
Pete Dunne. Pete Dunne's team.
Okay.
Pat McAfee's team, whatever you want to say.
So the heels there, faces on the side. All right.
Heels should always have the advantage in Wargames.
Agreed.
That's where I'm at with it.
Agreed.
So that was,
but I.O. jumps on Gonzalez's back. Yeah. She also does a very weird thing, which I get it, but she does the moonsault off the turnbuckle to the outside and takes out 25 people.
Of course, that's what you're supposed to do.
I guess
she was channeling her inner Kid Cash.
Right, of
course.
Domino
effect.
Yeah, but yeah. So that we flew through that NXT.
There wasn't much that happened.
That is a spoiler for what we're about to discuss.
Yeah. Well, yeah. All right. I'm going to go, and I'm going to ask you the questions, and then we have something else to talk about after this.
Does Dude know the card?
Make up a jingle on the spot.
No.
Okay. Match.
Is Shotzi Blackheart in a shopping cart? I don't know.
What the?
I tried to rhyme something. I don't know. I did it for you. You should be happy that I tried. I'm going to edit that out later.
No, don't. Please leave it in. Please fucking leave it in.
I can't pretend to create something as fun as that David Kincannon masterpiece is.
No, I like the new version too, where he goes ass rock with the voice.
Absolutely. Listen to At Odds with Wrestling.
Yeah, because you'll hear that jingle this week.
You'll hear that jingle and you'll understand my bad joke of it.
God damn it! All right. Match from each show. Match overall. Show overall.
So wrestling wasn't that good this week. Like in ring wasn't great.
All right.
A little hard to pick. AEW a little better. Because there was a clear like best thing. But like AEW strength was like oh shit and moments. The Jericho Kazarian thing was trash, right? The Battle Royal was fun. I like Battle Royals. But then we're getting Baker and Hirsch. Then we get the tag match that was okay. It was too short. And then we're in the main event. So like wrestling on both shows was not the focal point for either show this week, I felt. But that being said, my AEW match is the main event, Omega Mox. They beat the shit out of each other. It was a good match anyway.
Fun story.
But like not a ton of things to pick from on that show to be match of the night.
That match took up over the last 40 minutes of their TV.
Fun story. In-ring was good.
Shock afterwards.
And then just shock and shock. NXT, I guess I'm going the main event just because EO showed up, but there was nothing on that show. Because I didn't give a shit about the Imperium match. What else? Ruff and Priest. Priest is terrible. August Gray and Grimes was just a squash. Jake Atlas and Tony Nese wasn't much better than a squash. And then Everrise didn't get to actually wrestle. So
but they still got the win.
So
Street Clips.
Gonzalez Shotzi because of the EO stuff, because I like EO. And they did the most good stuff. It just wasn't a very good match. So match of the night goes Omega Mox, because of course it does. And my show of the night by a country mile, because it felt like a big show. It was a big show. Well, it's the big show. AEW. Stinger, man. So, they just Stinger, the Impact thing, they're doing stuff, they're making moves. NXT, this is a go-home show for a pay-per-view you want me to watch, and this is what you're giving me? It ain't good. Nobody on the pay-per-view even really wrestled other than Grimes.
And see, I don't... Well, all right, I don't want to interrupt your thought. I'm sorry.
No, I was done. Go ahead.
Right. So, my match from AEW is obviously the main event. I enjoy these two very much.
Mm-hmm.
I enjoy Omega more than you do. I love Mox.
Yeah.
And I love it. The finish was set up something really fucking cool. So, going with that. The match from NXT, I don't know. There really wasn't. No. Honestly, that main event did fucking nothing.
I like the Grimes match. I like the Atlas match, but they're not enough there to make it a match of the night.
I guess I'm going to go with the opener just because Legado del Fantasma was in it.
All right.
And I'm a big mark for those guys. Mm-hmm. So I'll go with that. But it was rough. There's no confidence in that at all.
This is your go-home show for Wargames.
Yeah.
And I love Wargames.
Yeah.
And I still think that those matches are going to be good.
Absolutely.
But this was a poorly planned go-home show.
There was nothing memorable whatsoever.
And unless they knew that it didn't matter because of what AEW was going to be doing, so why make big impacts and stuff? In my opinion, if you're running a wrestling show, you want to pull out all the stops to try and compete. But NXT doesn't seem to have that sort of thought. Or
I don't know. It wasn't good.
But it wasn't good.
Wasn't
Seeing as
good.
we went through the show in 15 minutes.
I would have rathered in the ladder match maybe Shotzi versus Tony.
Yeah.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I understand you want Raquel to get experience and reps, but Raquel and Rhea is where your money's at there.
Right. You want to save Raquel in the Wargames match for the power stuff.
Exactly.
That's a good idea actually, because Tony be the better idea in that match for sure.
Don't have Candice.
They complement each other.
Don't have Candice because the main feud there is Shotzi Candice.
Right.
So don't let them do it.
Right.
Shotzi Tony.
It's also weird that it's Shotzi's team and they had her go in the advantage match, but.
Yeah,
leader, but whatever.
Though the show is AEW for sure, and it's not close.
No.
This was hyped up as the biggest Dynamite ever.
Mm-hmm.
2 shock things I thought, and I'm gonna say it delivered.
Yeah, I think so.
I think it. I'm not gonna say it over delivered or under delivered. I think it just was right on, spot on.
Listen, winter came.
Jesus Christ. Came everywhere.
So the fans also So last week, Thanksgiving, we didn't get ratings, but NXT won last week. We didn't cover them. They didn't come out so much later.
Which is real fucking weird because if you remember last year, same thing happened. Like NXT crushed AEW. Like Thanksgiving week.
It's only 2,000. It was 710 to 712 last week. That's the low numbers for everybody anyway. This week, I'm gonna reverse these because NXT pulled a 658,000. AEW pulled 913,000.
Do you think AEW breaks 1 million next week?
Yeah. Oh yeah.
With Sting and everything.
I think so. So this is the best they've done since January of this year.
Yeah.
February of this year. They went over 1 million when there was no competition back in September.
Yeah, that doesn't count.
I think so. I think Impact will do huge numbers. And then they're going to have to end Impact with a huge cliffhanger, and everybody's going to watch AEW next week.
If they're smart.
If they're smart,
that's what they'll do.
But yeah, so NXT took a beating, and you know what? Rightfully so. They brought it on themselves. They brought it on themselves. Very good. So for our totals, just to get through this, season 2 totals, I am at 26 for AEW and 21 for NXT, and you are at 24 for AEW and 23 for NXT.
Okay.
And overall, from the very beginning, I am now at 29 AEW and 30 NXT. And you are at 27 AEW and 31.
Okay. So it's really not much of a difference, you know?
No, hold on. 28. Sorry. Okay. 28 and 31. My bad. I can't do math.
Well, let's run this down if you're ready for
Wargames
card.
Yeah, let's get through it real quick. Let's do.
Yes. So
there shouldn't be much.
Only 5 matches announced.
Okay.
First one, we're going Thatcher Ciampa.
Okay. Hold on. I got to write down. I never prepare.
You don't.
I got to write this down because when we call the same, that's not even English. Look at that. I know what it says. All right. What do we got? Ciampa
and Thatcher
and Thatch. Okay. Who you got?
Ciampa.
Okay. I'm actually gonna go Thatch.
Okay.
I think they're gonna put some legs on this thing, and I'm gonna go Thatch. Thatch did get the better of him this week, though. Yeah, I'm gonna go Thatch because that student might help out. I think there's gonna be some little turn there.
All right. Next match in the apple pie strap match.
Ooh.
Dexter Lumis versus Cameron Grimes.
Okay.
I am torn.
Oh my God! Listen,
it's 2 of our favorites.
Right. In my dream world, they have this match and then realize that they're both
60-minute Broadway.
60-minute Broadway. They realize they're both equals and they decided to form a tag team. They go to the main roster, they win the titles, and they main event WrestleMania.
That's sensible. I think they should do that. Print money, baby.
Yes.
I'm gonna go with Grimes.
Ooh. I'm going to go Lumis.
Okay.
Because Grimes has been avoiding him too much.
Okay.
Lumis will get his hands on him. And then, so who won the other gimmick match?
What, the Lumis's Treehouse of Horrors match?
Well, what was a blindfold match? Didn't they do that too?
No, I think it ended in a no contest.
Oh, okay.
I think. I don't remember.
Yeah. Because this isn't over. They still got to do more gimmicks. Yeah. But yeah, I'm sticking with Grimes. Or with Lumis, I mean.
Next match, triple threat match for the NXT North American Championship.
Mm-hmm.
Leon Ruff versus Johnny Gargano versus Damian Priest.
Okay. Do you want to say this one together, or are we going to agree?
I don't know. Would you agree?
I mean, I was going to count 1, 2, 3, and we could just both say Leon Ruff at the same time.
Okay, so 1, 2, 3, Leon Ruff. Okay. Yes. All right, good, great, grand.
That's the story. That's what it needs to be.
Sure, it should be. Let it continue.
Mm-hmm.
First Wargames match we'll talk about: Undisputed Era versus McAfee, Dunn, Birch, and Lorcan.
Okay.
I'm gonna go Team McAfee.
Ooh, McAfee's goons.
Mm-hmm.
Do you think McAfee is coming back? Do you think he's going to do another thing? Do you think he's going to keep coming back to work? Or do you think this is the blow off?
I don't know. I don't know, but I almost feel like I keep feeling like it's going to be the end of Undisputed Era.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Faces now. They don't need to be over.
Yeah.
I'm going Undisputed Era.
Okay.
This is good. We're like almost completely contested here. This is going to be fun.
That's what I like. And then main event, Team Shotzi versus Team Candice.
That's the main? They said for sure that's going to main event?
It should.
Better. Yeah,
it should.
Absolutely.
I feel the show should kick off with the men's Wargames match.
Yeah.
3 matches in between.
Right.
And finish with the women's. That's what makes sense.
Yep.
I'm going to go Team Shotzi.
You're going Shotzi, huh?
Yes.
Yeah.
For one reason only.
EO.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
Thank you for being a friend.
Yeah. So, I mean, you can spin a ton of gimmicks out of this. I love that heel team. I think it's a ton of fun.
Yeah.
I mean, the Dudettes with Attitudettes, Tony Storm. I don't love Candice, but Candice is better than I have a higher opinion of her than I used to. But yeah, I'm going Shotzi also because EO and Rhea. You're not going to have them.
Those are 2 heavy hitters.
They're ahead. They're carrying too much of that women's division to lose.
And plus
match.
Ember.
And Ember's been.
And they've been pushing Shotzi as a face of this division now.
Yeah.
So
yep.
Yeah.
The cool thing about this is that you're going to be able to spin so many angles out of this for this women's division. That's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, I'm with you. And that's it.
That's
all she wrote.
That's all she wrote. This is a long one.
It always is.
It is.
Anymore.
That's true. All right, I'll get through these plugs really quick. Wednesday night Jesus Christ.
You all right there?
No.
Calm down.
Terrible.
Take a breath.
Right. Wednesday War Pod on Twitter. Wednesday Night War Podcast on Instagram. Email the show at Wednesday Night War Pod at. Jeez, that's not it either. Wednesday night. Yeah, that was it. I am all over the place. I'm trying to rush. You see what happened? You see what happened?
Listen, hey.
I know.
Inhale the positive. Exhale the negative. All right.
I'm still going to mess this.
I know you are. That's okay. That's all right.
Wednesday Night War Pod at gmail.com. Email the show. Tell us what you like. Tell us your opinions. Tell us what you think about Impact. What's your Impact versus AEW Dream match? Hit us up there. Hit us up on Twitter. We'd love to talk to you all. Wednesday Night War Podcast.com. SoonToBeNamedNetwork.com and PWPonderings.com. You can find the show. As of last week, we were part of PW Ponderings. Our first show went up, and so last week's show was our first show on that site, and we're glad to be there. And so hope you're all listening through there. If you're new to the show, I hope you put up with us for the last 2 hours. Other than that, I will plug some of my friends on the Soon to Be Named Network: Longbox Heroes, At Odds with Wrestling, Profane Argument, Final Wrestling Plays, Puzzle Warriors 3, and the greatest podcast to ever hit the record button, Porch Talk. That's at STBN Network on Twitter. Pod That Dreaded Sundown, our friends not in any network that we happen to be a part of, but they are a horror movie podcast.
Part of our friend network.
Our network of friends at Pod Sundown, and Cinema Vertigogo at Cinema Vertigogo. They're movies. If you like horror movies, you like other movies, listen to those guys. They are great. Other than that, if you want to reach out to us personally, I'm at the Dooge, TheDooge. You can talk to me about Suikoden. I've been playing Suikoden all this week. I'm a bunch of hours into it. I'm having a ton of fun.
Sudoku
on my PlayStation 3.
Sudokan.
Yes, Sudokan. And I don't know. We can talk about the matches I watch every morning now. I watch one wrestling match in the morning while I'm on my exercise bicycle.
Humble brag.
Yes, humble brag. I'm a fat guy riding an exercise bicycle. Humble brag. Brett, where can they find you, pal?
You can find me at BrettXEdge570. I don't know. Talk to me about Taz, because I'll talk about Taz 24/7.
There you go.
I am Taz's maniac.
That's true.
If you want to see a good picture that I put up of Kevin Nash, Bruce Pritchard, and Pat Patterson, some bougie ass sweaters.
Absolutely.
Follow me there. Talk to me about your Spotify. What'd you like this year? Share your Spotify Wrapped with me.
Yeah.
Let me know.
That's a good thing.
I love music, so you can do that. And then, talk to me about how bad the Philadelphia Eagles fucking suck.
Wow.
But yeah, also this weekend, if you want to watch and you need more professional wrestling in your life, why don't you tune in to independentwrestling.tv? We got some shit this weekend. Nothing tomorrow night, but Saturday night, we have No Peace Underground. We have a No Ring double feature.
That's weird.
I'm looking through the names here. Sue Young is on it. I think she's an Impact.
Yeah.
AJ Gray, Colby Carino.
No,
I wish it was Steve.
Well,
And then I think that's the only thing live that they have going this weekend. So
okay.
Not a lot of live wrestling shows, independent wrestling shows this weekend. Probably for the best.
Yeah.
With the way the world is right now.
Right.
So, but if you want to watch anything on there, you could watch wrestling shows from years past. Many promotions. You can find your flavor on there.
Jersey All Pro all over the place.
IndependentWrestling.tv. Use the promo code Mortis.
Yes.
And I'll get you 5 full days free.
Absolutely free.
That's it.
That's it. Again, thank you for listening. Thank you for
being a friend.
Yes, being a friend. We are, again, at pwponderings.com, so check us out there. Check out all their other stuff, too. We're planning on growing that relationship as much as we can. So check us out. Thanks for listening. And we'll be back next week with some TNA coverage.
Well, it's Impact Wrestling.
Oh,
in
my brain, it will always be
I don't know.
TNA.
Last time I don't know. They were doing a weird thing where fucking Moose. Okay. He was like the TNA champion. He had the old TNA belt.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
do they still have the X division?
They do.
Do they still do the bungees above the ring and the X that you have to climb on?
No. The Ultimate X matches.
Yeah.
Those used to be fun.
Yeah.
I remember. So, all right, real quick sidebar.
Oh, my God.
I'm sorry. I remember watching, and I don't think you remember it, which bums me out. In the Edwardsville house, the first Monday that they went head to head with Monday Night Raw when they decided to, get a little too big for their britches. You, me, and friend of the show, Doug, watched those shows back to back. Yeah, we did. And hey, even back then, Michelle wanted to kill us.
Okay.
But the first match was like a weird X Division Thunderdome thing where Homicide was way too fucking tired at the end. He was supposed to crawl through the top of the roof, and he couldn't do it.
I don't remember any of that.
I love you, Homicide. I love you so much.
Everybody should love Homicide.
Damn right.
But yeah, I haven't watched Impact since it was TNA, really, so it'll always be TNA in my life.
Well, Rhino's there, so that should give you all the reason.
That's right.
But yeah, we'll be talking that, and we'll be talking much, much more
we will.
Next week. So thank you, everyone, for listening. Pro Wrestling, let's go.
You're listening to the soon-to-be-named network, the Lamborghini of podcast networks.
Knock it off, nerds!